Welcome to ComeonyespursTV. Today we want to look ahead to the North London Derby. We want to see what we call the North London 11. We're interested to see who you got in your side. So with me today, I've got two guests, one on the Tottenham side and one on the Arsenal side. They'll join me in exactly 10 seconds. In the meantime, come on, you Spurs. It's happening again. It's happening again. Gosh, so what have we got here? I think, right. Can anyone hear me?
Yes,
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So today I have with me Yinka. Yinka is a Tottenham fan. And I also have Andy. Andy is an Arsenal fan. We want to look ahead to the North London Derby taking place at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Uh, it's starting, well, Sunday, 4:30 p.m. Looking forward to it. I mean, I know that this match always gives up all sorts of vibes to both sides. I mean, let me just give you a bit of a preview if you like. I mean, Andy, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag for starters. Okay, Andy says he's a football man. I mean, first and foremost, right? He just loves football. And I have to hand him that because he's always upfront. He's not biased, if you like, even though he's an Arsenal fan. And he let us in on a little secret when we did the preview of of this match, and he said something like sacrilege, if you like. Tell us about it, Andy. Good morning or good afternoon.
no, I can't hide. It's the truth. Where one was growing up and following the Premiership. Okay, before it's called the Premiership, the
It's called the
the
English
league,
league, English
yeah,
first
the
division.
English league, yeah, English First Division. I had no attachment to any particular club. But then, um, Tottenham at that time had two great Brazilian players that just came out of the
You mean
78
Argentine,
World
you
Cup,
mean?
if I'm right. Argentine World Cup. 78. Was it 78?
It was 78 years.
Was it 78?
Yeah, it was 78 years.
78 World Cup. They were great stars, and they moved into the English League, and I started following them. Graceful, the way they play, graceful. You see the difference between um, physicality and quality, technical assurance. Those guys had what you call technical assurance. Actually, if you want to know, they brought when they say, "Oh, those Man U guys, the guys that came from France, brought the technical assurance to the game in the Premiership." It was these two guys that changed technicality of the game in the English Premier League. I tell you, I was young, but I could see the gracefulness in them, all those skills, all those things Okocha brought in. These were the early riders. These were the early riders, and they were wonderful to behold. And then I just glued myself. I love Tottenham. But as things begin to go up with the emergence of so many black players coming into Arsenal, of course, I was swayed and
So
got
you
hooked
had
into
all of the
Arsenal.
Canos
But
and the Campbells and the Ian Wright, those
yes,
things to
yes,
sort of
yes. Those.
sway
Let me
you.
tell you, most of the Arsenal fans you find today actually were attracted to Arsenal by virtue of those black heritage, by virtue of the black heritage. That's just the truth.
Interesting. Yinka, how
So
are you?
Tottenham is a
I'm
great.
fine. I was just listening to my brother Andy there from the other side, I will say, and he raises some good points in regards to back in the 80s when Ardiles and Ricky Villa came to Spurs, that they were at the forefront of this foreign players coming into the English game and changing maybe the style or their impact of technicality impacting the English football at the time. Another point that you raised that I completely agree with actually is the impact of Arsenal within the ethnic communities in London, and the way that a lot of people could maybe migrate and associate with the Arsenal teams of the 90s and 2000s because of their their influx of players of colour and foreign players. And that part of London being a very multicultural part of London, we know that North London, if London's one of the most multicultural cities in the world, North London is one of the most populated multicultural parts of London. So you can understand of supporters maybe migrating towards that Arsenal team. So yeah, there was a couple of points I did definitely agree with him for. Arsenal do a lot within their community, and they always reach out into the ethnic community, not only to source for players, but for supporters as well. And there's one thing I will say about watching an Arsenal game is how multicultural their supporter fan base is. Maybe a little bit more so than Spurs, to be fair. As has been mentioned, you know, the amount of black players that are played for Arsenal. But yes, I can agree in some points that Mr. Andy raised.
Yeah, I mean, which it's right. I mean, obviously there's a big support base for Arsenal within, especially the Nigerian community. And don't forget that this whole podcast thing came out of Nigeria Spurs, if you like. So I guess you find a lot of our brothers. I mean, I'm pretty sure that there's probably no Nigerian family, if you like, who don't have some Arsenal support within their ranks. I mean, I'm a good example myself. I mean, even though I come from a Nigerian heritage, like you Yinka, and of course Andy, my son supports Arsenal. You know, my dad.
Well, I'm not happy with. I don't understand how we managed to.
Right.
Anyway, that's a conversation for another day. I'm not upset. I'm not upset. I'm just a little disappointed. That's
I know. My dad supports Arsenal, so it's like, I mean, even my cousin. So it's like, it's not uncommon to find a very, very broad base across family.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, one thing that we are as North London rivals, we cannot get away from the fact that we are intertwined within our families. Within you'll very regularly find that Arsenal and Tottenham are within the same household. Yeah. Sometimes, even within my own household, my brother abducted to the other side. You know, so
who that?
No, not brother Femi. My brother Femi, like, because he lived in Islington. To be fair, he lived a lot of time in Islington, and so yeah, he's an Arsenal supporter. Like,
really?
Why?
How? How?
Oh yeah, how?
How?
How? Not serious. Anyway, it's not serious. It's not serious.
I think that's the ethnic thing caused it, and of course that man called Wenger accelerated everything because he was a very liberal person when it comes to recruitment and stuff like that. It was very open, and I think that is just the trick.
Right. Don't let's get distracted. Okay. Let's move on very quickly on. We're trying to do the North London 11. Back to business. Yes. North London 11. Right.
Yes, already. I'm cracking my knuckles.
Now, this matches are always super competitive, right? We've done a preview already of seeing
this one is going to be one.
What it look like in terms of passion, in terms of but you always have what they call a bit of bragging rights as well when it comes to naming what you call top players for both teams, right? And pundits always come up with their own North London 11. You know, fans come up with their own. Let's see what you guys think at home if you of our choices, right? So this is how it's gonna work, right? Andy will choose a player. Yinka will also choose a player. If they agree on the player for that particular position, right? Of course, we'll go with that position. I have the casting vote if they don't agree. So Andy was saying off air that he hopes I'm impartial. I said fat chance. But yes, I will try to be impartial. You know, yeah, so let's see how that goes. The second thing is the formation, right? Right. As it is, Arsenal tend to play 4-3-3 or a variation thereof. We tend to play 3-4-3 or a variation thereof, but we normally play 3 at the back, you know. So we'll probably just leave it at 4 at the back for the sake of this conversation, so that way at least we have hopefully get everyone in and give it a fair crack of the whip, if you like. So, yes, let's go straight into it. I have a list of the players I think will make the cuts for starting for both teams, right? We may or we may not be right, depending on what coaches select on the day. But let's go with these for now, and then we'll see what that looks like. Yeah, can we all see this?
Yes.
Beautiful, right? So in goal, there's Ramsdale on the right hand side, Ramsdale and Lloris. On the right hand side, you got White and Doherty. And then in the middle, Gabriel Romero, Saliba there, Longley, Zinchenko, Perisic, Højbjerg, Partey, Xhaka, Odegaard, Bentancur, Saka, Martinelli, Nketiah, Son, Kulusevski, and Kane. So we've got 11 players from each team, right? Right. So starting from what are we going to do here? I think if we did this way, right? Starting from the goalkeeping position, right? Andy, do you want to go first? Who would you go for in goal, and tell us why?
For goal, I will not. In terms of, I will not be too bothered, because if you really ask me, how many North London derby has Ramsdale done? Ramsdale has not done more than, I'm sure this will be his second or third. His second North London derby. The first was the one he did, or rather, I can't remember now. Ramsdale came in 2 years ago. Okay, most probably this is his third or fourth.
Beginning of last season. Beginning of last season, yeah.
Okay, so I'm not too bothered. Whoever is there, I'm not going to be too fussy, because I know Lloris has a lot of North London experience, so I'm not too bothered about any of them. My only worry is the lack of experience Ramsey carries with the North London derby. So I'm not too bothered either Ramsey or Lloris. I'm not too perturbed about that.
So that suggests to me that Lloris will be in goal then.
Oh yeah, I mean,
no problem. I'm not too perturbed.
To swing it back towards for anyone that's watching, I have a real issue trying to say that word Arsenal. So forgive me for saying that. I usually say the others down the road, the others on the other side of the Seven Sisters Road. So in regards to the others and Ramsdale being the goalkeeper, he has come a long way from his signing from last season. He's come a long way. He looked assured. He's looked the best Arsenal keeper, I'll say, for the last 4 or 5 seasons. He's actually looked the best goalkeeper between the sticks. He's a good shot stopper. He's decent enough with his feet. But as Andy mentioned, you can't beat experience. You can't beat the fact that whatever you say about Lloris, more times than not, he delivers and is pretty safe in goal. And there's a reason why he's got to 2 World Cup finals. There's a reason why he's he's France's all-time cap holder, I think, or close to it. So Lloris has to be in goal for me, just on the experience side of it. Though Ramsdale is having a great season to date.
All right, so Lloris in goal. Okay, that's that.
No problem.
Thanks for clearing that up. So
that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah,
Lloris.
We move that off. We'll move Ramsdale off that, and then we've got Lloris on there, right? So, on the right hand side of the defense, on the 4-man. Herein lies the conundrum when you play 4-man in the defense and back. So
I will tell you, my boy White has come a long way this year. He's magnificent. White is magnificent. Forget what the English FA is saying about him. The coaches in the England national team, they are wasting their time. He's magnificent. Super magnificent. He can play across the back. He's even done left full back for us in one match. So he can play across the back. He can play DM. He can do everything. He's magnificent.
I mean, it's interesting when you talk about White. and the development of White over the. I didn't see this form at right back from Ben White last season. I did not see that. I did not see it coming that they could give him the responsibility over Tomiyasu or Timarasu or the Japanese fullback that you had. That funny enough, Tottenham and Arsenal were both in for that fullback, and Arsenal got him, and we were like, we got Royale in the end. And so it's just interesting how much he's developed as a footballer at right back. I did not see that coming. Going to Doherty, on the other hand, it's how he's digressed, in my opinion, at that position. This should be, though he's digressed in the big scheme of things, but just recently, since the World Cup, he's just hit us. He's been scoring goals. He's been hitting a lot of top form. So in the last month, Doherty has been playing to the standard that we believe he should have been playing when we first initially got him. So if it's for the season-long form, White has to be in this 11. If it's based upon the last 4 weeks, if it's based upon the last 3 or 4 weeks, Doherty is in with a shout. He scored like about 4 goals in this last 4 weeks from right wing back. So, but because we're playing a 4-3-3, I think Ben White has to gets the nod for me. I think he's been more consistent throughout the season.
Okay, so you guys are going for Ben White over Doherty. Like Inga said, I mean, Doherty for me hasn't quite hit the heights that he was. I hit where he was at Wolves, which was one of the reasons why we got him in the first place. And it's probably coming to his own now. It's what you might call a late bloom for us. But I mean, obviously from our perspective, we probably hope to see that improves over the course of the season. But for the sake of this North London derby, it looks like the Ben White has got our nod on this one. Right, the White on that one. So, right. In the middle of the park, now, herein lies the conundrum. So, because we play 3 at the back, we play 3 centre-backs, right? We've got to choose between, from Spurs' perspective, we've got to choose between Romero, Longley, presuming that Longley plays, because we've got sometimes Davies plays, and sometimes, Longley plays at the left side of the back 3. We've got Romero, Dyer, and Longley. Right, so if we have the right-hand side, but in you guys' case, it's normally Gabriel and Saliba, right? To choose from.
Yeah.
Right, so I don't know who we're gonna drop in the Spurs trio.
For my trio to play on the right side of that defense, there really is only one player I can put forward out of this squad, and that's Romero. He's been vital to our success this season. When he's not playing, you definitely miss him when he's not playing. You definitely miss his tenacity, his fight, his bite. You saw him in the World Cup, how even Argentina missed him when he wasn't on form. So Romero for me is a shoo-in for the right side of defense. Putting him up against Gabriel, who has had a decent season. Gabriel, he's got a mistake in him here and there. But I think Romero edges it for me in the right side of defense.
Right, so
if you ask me, those 2 stewards we have made the difference for us this season.
Yes.
Saliba and Gabriel. If you watch the last, you might say it's a League One side. The last match we played, Gabriel was in previous. And I like Gabriel's tenacity with Kane. Look at the last 4 North London derbies. If you want to know how good Gabriel is, just watch him with Kane. It's a derby. 2 of them, it's a derby. I'm waiting to see 2 of them again this weekend.
As well as he does, Kane always comes away with a goal out of that game. So
no, it's usually very tasty. Very tasty.
Yeah.
Very, very tasty.
Right, so Gabriel Romero.
Me, I don't know.
Who
Well,
would it be for you?
what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about, Saliba?
No,
No, there's no argument with Saliba.
yeah,
There's no
we'll
argument with
Saliba in a
Saliba.
minute.
Before you get to Saliba, there's no argument. Big Willie Saliba. Big Willie Saliba gets in there for me because I don't think Dyer or Lenglet or Davis or whoever else we got is up to the level of Saliba. Saliba has come a long way. Saliba, for a player that really wasn't in consideration when they initially bought him and he was loaned out at Arsenal, for him to come back in this year, and do what he's been doing on the pitch and create the chemistry of Gabriel, to chip in with goals, to be solid at the back, to be you actually see the silkiness in his game and the confidence in his game. I'm impressed with Saliba.
All right.
I'm impressed with that kid.
Let me just interrupt you for a minute. Let's just sort of deal with that right hand side of the back four.
Okay.
Let's finish Romero and Mr. Gabriel. So you go Romero. Who do you go for?
Funny enough for us, on the right hand side, Saliba plays the right hand side for us. The left hand side is Gabriel.
Oh, okay. Hey, you put a spanner in the works there for me, to be honest, because
you go on first. You go first.
Sorry, you put a spanner in the works for me because I would have done the combination of Romero and Saliba, but as you say, they both played the right hand side of the centre halves.
Yes.
I can't. Do you know what? I can't put Dyer over Gabriel. I can't put Lenglet over Gabriel, and I can't put Davis over Gabriel. On the left, that's how we struggle in that position. So not that we struggle. I just don't think quality for quality, Lenglet or Davis. Dyer is a specialist at centre. Dyer for me, his only real position is that specialist at the middle of a back three. Other than that, he's maybe not got the quality on the other side of the three at the back.
All right. So herein lies the conundrum. So
let's move on.
So Romero or Saliba?
Yes. So who do you pick?
Oh wow! No, Romero. Kuti all day.
Romero for you. Who'd you pick?
Why?
Why? Because his body of work, I think, has been solid this season. He's a World Cup winner.
You know what? You know what they call Saliba? The Rolls Royce. The Rolls Royce. Ask the Brentford coach. He will tell you when we played Brentford, after the match, he said, "Oh, Saliba.
He has got, do you know what? Saliba has got that Rolls Royce quality in him, similar to Ledley King, similar to Virgil van Dijk, in regards of the game comes easy to them. The game comes so smoothly to them, So I do see that quality. But the same way that you call Saliba a Rolls Royce, I call Romero a pit bull. And you need a pit bull in your team. You need someone that is going to dog it out, fight it out, and fight your corner in the team. So there's different qualities in them. There's different qualities.
So here's where I'm going to have to step in now. Otherwise, we'll spend all day here, right?
Okay, step in. Let's so that we move.
Yeah. So very quickly, I would go for Romero, and for the simple reason that he's a World Cup winner. That's the only reason I'll go for Romero, right? And the fact that Saliba wouldn't even get on the team for France, not because he's not good, but because France just have so much quality, and he didn't.
Yeah, most of those guys they fix in France is because he came late. He's better than some of them.
Well,
take that guy in Liverpool, Konate. Day and night is better than Konate.
Right. So
day and night. We know all these things. It's just like White. And what do you do?
Anyway, so yeah, we'll go Romero. I mean, I would cast my casting vote and go Romero. Right. So next one, on the Gabriel. It looks like everyone agrees on Gabriel. Yes.
Yes, I would have put Saliba ahead of Gabriel if it was possible. But if you're saying that Saliba can't play left side, I thought he played left side of the back of the centre backs.
He plays right for us.
Fair enough. I'm not going to challenge Gabriel or Saliba on the other side. So
do we put Gabriel or do we put Saliba?
I would say
Saliba. Gabriel is left-footed.
Right. Okay.
And
So
Gabriel gets in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So on the left-hand side, we have we have a wing back. We don't have a left back as such. Our wing back is Perisic. On the left-hand side, you guys have who? Zinchenko.
Yeah, Zinchenko. Yeah.
Right. So
it gives you more than a left back. It pumps your midfield. It pumps your midfield and makes you control games.
Yes.
That's why teams target him. If you can target him very well, it destroys the rhythm.
Yeah. There's one thing that Arteta's done with Zinchenko that he's taken from Man City with the inverted fullback that he plays in the midfield.
That's why Tierney can't make the team anymore. Tierney is looking ordinary. He's a good player, but he's looking like somebody who will go at the end of the season.
Right,
he can't play inverted left back. Yeah.
I really do believe that Zinchenko is benefiting from the fact that he knows the system that Arteta wants to play at Arsenal, inside out. He's been playing it at Man City for the last 4 or 5 seasons, that inverted fullback role. He knows it. He's trained with it. So that's why he's comfortable in relaying the information that Arteta wants to put on him for that particular role.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
But you can't beat money Ivan Perisic. Ivan Perisic, in my opinion, is one of the best two-way players in the Premier League. He is, for his attacking play, his set pieces, two-footed, his fitness, his mentality, his winning mentality is second to none. On top of that, he has that defensive know-how and experience as well. He's been one of our better buys this season. He's been one of our better performers this season. And I can't see him not in this starting 11 for me personally. I think he's been a standout player, not just for Tottenham, but in the league, as in a left-sided two-way player. When I say two-way, as good as he is going forward, is as good as he is going back.
I agree. But if he sees a left, because I've watched him, if he sees a very good winger coming his way, he doesn't go forward. And I remember that first not London derby. He couldn't, he was static. Not that he doesn't have the capacity, he was static. Because with speed, if he meets a very fast winger.
Saka would be his kryptonite. Because Saka was always going to be positive going forward. You know, he would have to look backwards before going forward when he's playing Saka. For most other right-sided players, he can dominate the right attacker. But when it comes to certain players that are so attack-minded, similar to the way that Saka plays, I agree that he does have his hands full in regards to that. But at the same time, you put him forward. I'm sure in the last derby, you know, he made assists and such. So, I think he's vital to us. And I think that out of Zinchenko and Perisic, I would take Perisic.
Right. So you go for Perisic, and Andy goes for Zinchenko, right? Or right. You so I've got the casting votes. Yes.
The only problem I have with Zinchenko is if you watch, we don't use him 90 minutes.
Right.
If we have a result, you see the second half, we bring in Tierney, a traditional left full back to come in. Because in as much as he goes forward, he leaves that his left flank vacant most of the time. And that's where the opposition hit us from.
Right. So
if you watch any match we play, he doesn't play full 90 minutes. Or except if Tierney starts, then he comes to let us get control so that we can hold the scores we have. But basically, he doesn't do 90 minutes.
Yeah, Perisic plays 90 minutes every single game. We can't most probably do without him at times, you know. So even when he's substituted, they'll even change his position to maybe go further forward, or even play the other side. I've seen him play on the right side when we've needed to make changes. So Perisic is one of those stalwarts for Tottenham's first 11.
Right. So casting votes, I have to do right, presumably.
Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
I'll go for Perisic mainly because of the experience. Right. He's got bags and bags of experience. Right. He's been to. Come on. He's vast amount of experience in comparison to Zinchenko, and it's been a big
let's move to,
this season, right?
Let's move to the midfield.
Right. So Zinchenko. Right. So midfield. Right. So okay, we play. 3 in midfield, like you guys as well. Or well, we play 2, Højbjerg and Bentancur, right?
This is where the game's going to be won on the weekend in this midfield.
This is it. So right. So where would you? Well, because we're playing a 4-3-3. What 3 would you have?
I'll give you my 3 straight away.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you my 3. On the
let's take it one by one. That way, it's much easier for us to deal with that way.
Okay, let me do that. I'll give you
people who to bet them with. So your 3 will be on the right hand side. Who would you have on the right hand side?
Odegaard, Partey, and Højbjerg.
Right. Okay, so you have Odegaard on the right hand side. Yep.
Huh?
Would you have Odegaard on the right hand side? Is that correct? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, right hand side. Right hand side, yes.
Yinka, who would you have on the right hand side?
It would be for me. It would be slightly different in the way I'd the formation of that 3 in the middle. I'd have 2. I'd have a tandem at the back and then 1 and more of a forward-thinking midfielder. So my 2 holding midfielders would be Bentancur and Partey, and my attacking midfielder would be Odegaard. Because we don't have an attacking midfielder. That's the advantage that Arsenal have. Hence the reason why I say this is where the game will be won and lost. Odegaard is like the joker in the pack in this particular derby for me, because that is a position that we don't have and that we desperately need, and Arsenal have a form player in that position.
Right, so Odegaard looks like it's going to be a shoe-in. Yep. So Odegaard there. Right. Partey looks like a shoe-in because you guys seem to agree that it's there as well. Yep. And then Højbjerg, you guys also agree that Højbjerg is there as well, yes?
No, I put Bentancur for me. If he fits.
Right, for you instead of Højbjerg, right?
Oh, okay. It's challenging for me in this regards because they're better together. Bentancur and Højbjerg have been an amazing partnership. Their mix in the middle has been great, but I cannot deny the fact that Partey is playing his best football now in that position for Arsenal. Partey's been brilliant in that regard. So if I have to drop one,
that's why we prefer Højbjerg. Push him a little bit forward to do the destroyer's work. Why Partey will be behind to snuff up those balls and set the attack from the back. Supply those long balls to the strikers.
Mr. Andy, you mentioned something very earlier in the chat in regards of when you initially started to put your eye on Tottenham because you like these 2 Argentinian players, Ozzy Ardiles and Ricky Villa. Bentancur is like the reincarnation of Ricky Villa for me. He is a true number 8. He gets up and down the pitch. He's all action. He chips in with the goals. I think there's a lovely similarity between Ricky Villa and Bentancur, just the way they go about their football on the pitch. Very silky. You talk about a Rolls Royce, and
I think I will need to watch more of him because I've not.
Oh, if you're talking Rolls Royce, then Bentancur is a Bentley. He's a Bentley.
I will watch it this Sunday. I will have to set my eyes on him to really understand him. Let me not. The person I've seen in difficult times and in good times is Højbjerg. I've seen him severally, and sometimes I know even that pit bull sense, he has it.
Yeah.
He has that pit bull sense. He can stop. He can actually press by going forward to stop an opposition player that is very daring. I can tell you, if it's a player that you can use to stop somebody like Odegaard, because he will just be just with him and begin to pinch him.
Sorry to interrupt you, Andy. But you see, the funny thing about it is that Bentancur also has those qualities. He takes the ball off you.
Yeah, I've not seen him.
He reads the game so
I'm
well.
judging.
You know, he just takes the ball off you so not without it even looking as if he's been rough. You know, very.
No, I agree.
I agree with you. Like his aggression is used differently. It's not that he has that forceful aggression. He has a more of a clever way of taking the possession off his opponent. You know, is very clever in regards to that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick. I'm gonna stick with my three of Bentancur, Partey, and Odegaard.
Okay.
Although I run very close with Højbjerg. And what we can be agreed with, that Xhaka should have gone nowhere near this 11 because you're guaranteed to lose with a red card from him happening some point.
No.
But having said that, if we're being fair, I mean, I think Xhaka has come up.
Oh, he's redeemed himself this season.
Right.
They love him now. Yeah. Look at these two-faced Arsenal supporters, man.
Right. So here you go, Bentancur in that role. So it's middle. So far we have Lloris in goal, Ben White on the right hand side, Romero and Gabriel in the middle of the park at the back, and then Perisic on the left hand side. In the middle of the park we have Odegaard, Partey, Bentancur. Front three. Now this is where it gets interesting. Right. So front three. Who do we go for? So on the left hand side of the front three. Now we normally play Son there, right? On the right hand side we play Kulusevski because they invert, right? And then up front we play Kane up on his own. Now, meanwhile, Arsenal have Saka, Martinelli, and Nketiah.
Let's Nketiah, sit down, Jerry. Sit down, man. Relax yourself. No. Let's just park Nketiah. Relax.
Right, so Nketiah's parked to the side, right? Okay. Now, Kulusevski and Saka.
Oh, mate. Oh, man. This is a tough one. If I'm going to be brutally honest with you, brutally honest, I don't like Arsenal. There's not much I like about Arsenal. There's not much I like about their players, their team, or anything else. But there's one kid that gets a little bit of love and affection from me, and that is Saka.
Because Nigerian.
No, it's because he's a good kid. He's a good kid. He's a good footballer. He's someone that I've watched from 16 years old and thought, wow, these boys have found a gem of a footballer that can do everything on the pitch required. This is a kid that's gone from left back to left wing to right wing and delivered and performed at every single thing that's been asked of him, even up to international level. Within 3 seasons. That's impressive.
I agree with you.
So within 3 seasons, from an 18-year-old, he's gone from left back for England to play left wing for England to play right-sided wing for. That's impressive. Though,
you know one
only
thing.
Player, but
his body positioning is next to what you get with the likes. He's developing, but he's developing himself just like what you find with Messi. To dispose him of the ball, he's small, but his body positioning is he developed it so quick that it is either you bring him down or you take the ball. Unlike the other guy, Martinelli, who is so talented, but his body positioning, he's not gotten it right.
Yeah.
I don't know who trained his body positioning, because very difficult. If you talk, this guy, what's the name? That Newcastle guy, what's the name? That tall defender.
Burns. Is it Burns or
Bonds said, look, this guy, I won't tell you lie, is very difficult to dispossess because the way, he's small, he has low center of gravity. There's a way he bends his body. You can't take the ball. He uses his bumps to block the ball from you. So what you're saying is right. Well, not because he plays for us. When you see somebody so versatile, you give it to him.
yeah?
You know what it is for a black boy to miss that penalty, for a black boy in an English team to miss that penalty, and the whole world went whack. But even when he comes back, they still accept him because he's that good. You cannot just turn him down.
Yeah.
Most probably 1 or 2 years with us. 1 or 2 years with us. I see him leaving for a bigger team.
But I will state my case for Kulusevski. I'll state my case for Kulusevski. And the biggest compliment I can pay Kulusevski is when he doesn't play, we don't play. When Kulusevski is not in the team, there is a dramatic drop-off in our creativity and our forward play within the team. There's a dramatic drop-off. He's been absolutely integral to the success of Tottenham when he's not in the team. More so, I could say, than on the other side, Son, or any other forward player.
Do you think that is the case only? I don't think that's the case only. If you remove Romero, the other results you get is as a result of those guys you have there at your back. Because if you have very good, robust, even if Kulusevski didn't play, you'll be able to grind results.
Yeah.
You'll be able to grind results.
Yeah.
So, that's why I was telling you.
I'm gonna go with Andy's argument. I'm gonna go with that, and the fact that he's most probably the only Arsenal player that has got a little bit of love from me, Bukayo.
All right, so Saka on the right-hand side, right?
Yeah.
Right, so I think we all agreed on that one. Saka on the right-hand side over Kulusevski, for the reasons you've all stated. Right, Nketiah is out of the equation. Højbjerg is also out of the equation, and so is Xhaka. Saliba is also out. Dyer is out. Well, and so Ace Longley. So we've got Martinelli, Kane, and Son left.
Kane. Put Kane there.
All right, so
yeah,
put Kane.
Keep it moving. Very simple, very easy.
That's very easy.
North London, North London's king. All-time top scorer.
So
Kane
because with Martinelli's son.
Kane and Bukayo during the World Cup.
World Cup, yeah.
Right, so that leaves us with Martinelli and Son.
I
don't know. I don't know what
I don't know what this, because the thing is with Martinelli and Son, they've both been in and out form-wise, but I think Martinelli's form has been a little bit better than Son's in the run-up to this game. Son has been in and out. A bit of it's to do with his injury. He's playing injured. We cannot forget that Son has been playing with a broken face. So
in game like this, Son comes on, eh?
But Son's a big game player, as you've seen, clutch. Yeah.
In game like this.
Right.
Martinelli can go hiding in a game like this sometimes.
Right. So we all agree that Son comes on in a game like this. So
I agree. Yeah.
Right. So thank you very much, gentlemen. The final North London 11, we have Lloris in goal, Ben White on the right-hand side of the back four, Romero in the middle alongside Gabriel, and Perisic on the left-hand side. In the middle of the park, we've got Odegaard, Partey, and Bentancur. Up front, we have Saka, Kane, and Son. We'll do a count. Let's see how many Tottenham players we got there and how many Arsenal players we got there. Starting with Arsenal, we got White. That's 1. Got Gabriel, 2. We got Odegaard, 3. Partey, 4. And 5, we got Saka. So I think Tottenham shared this 6-5, yes?
Yeah, it could have gone the other way. It could have gone the other way, to be honest. Yeah. It's a North London derby.
Yeah.
It's who turns up on the day, you know. So
absolutely.
I think it's a fair team. We see where the strengths lies in both of these in these teams as well, in regards of the midfield and in the defense as well of Arsenal have been, top notch this season.
It'll be interesting to hear from you at home. See what you see. See what you think about our lineup for the North London 11. Do you agree, or if you don't, who would you have there? Who would you take out from this team? It'll be interesting to hear your views. Thank you very much, guys. Andy, it's been a pleasure having you.
Okay.
Honorable, fair, and balanced. Thank you so much. It's been refreshing for an Arsenal fan. But yeah, I mean,
when we do the preview, I want one more person to come. Let's what's his name?
Chuma.
So
right,
all of us will eat ourselves here.
Yeah, we'll have a post-match review afterwards. Join us on Sunday. I think it's probably going to be at about 8 p.m. GMT. So yes, looking forward to that. I think with match finishes about 6:30. Sorry, not 8 p.m. Sorry, what am I saying? Match finishes about 6:30. We start we go live 7:15 on Sunday evening for the match post-match analysis. So looking forward to you guys joining us. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. It's been amazing. Yinka?
One last thing I want to say. One last thing. Just one last thing. This North London derby, in my view, is bigger than the last North London derby at the Lane that we had last season.
Right. Why is that?
Sorry?
Why is that?
Because we cannot have the others coming to our house, beating us, and then going on to do what I don't even want to speak the words out into existence, but this is an opportunity to put that spanner in the works and knock them down a peg. Once they lose the others, it's all going to come tumbling down. It starts on Sunday.
Well, I think for us, for me more than anything else, is we started a rebuilding process.
You know what?
Go on.
You know what? I told him, if you forgot, for 2 seasons, we've not got Thomas Partey showing up in your stadium. Last year he was injured. The year before last year he didn't show up at all because he had injury. The year before he played some minutes before the first half. He walked out. If you remember, he walked out and you guys scored. So this time around, it's a full engine coming back. But you see, it's not about whether we win or not to win. What I want to see is the best game of the year. The Premiership.
They usually are good games. There's one thing we can guarantee: they're good games. Yeah, they're good games. They're proper Premier League games.
This would be better than the day before, City versus Man United. It's going to be better than that game.
Let's hope so.
Right, let's hope so. Thank you very much, guys. I mean, from my perspective, more than anything else, rather than knock anyone down, for me, it's just for us to make progress and keep on the good work we started with Crystal Palace, and we hope on go on and win. If we end up derailing them in the process, fantastic, but losing is not an option, basically. Okay. So thank you so much, guys. Look forward to seeing you at the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Andy. Have a good day, guys.
And come on, you Spurs.
Same to them.
Come on, you Spurs.